What's good, guys? Let's go over the trade that I took today and alerted to you guys. So, on the weekly, price is a little range bound, but we did have this potential reversal off of yesterday's sweep of this low here, and this daily candle closure could be a potential reversal candle, even though it's not a strong bullish closure like this. We can now then use this 50% of the wick as a continuation area. And so NASDAQ had a little bit of a larger run than I would have liked. But if we look at ES, this is why it's important to use both assets. ES did not have such a large opposing run, and the previous daily high up here was that drawn liquidity. So from one extreme of the range on ES, as you can see, this is that extreme of the weekly range that we've been inside of. We finally swept that, so now we could have a potential low that we're trading away from. And if you notice, that same low down here is where SMT's formed, and if we close above here, I'd be treating that as an order block, and tomorrow we could be trading this higher into this high as well. So have to wait for the candle closure today, but that is what I was basing my trade off of. We had SMT and then a potential reversal closure, and then using this 50% of the wick as a invalidation point. Even though, like I said, NASDAQ did hit that, ES did not, so that's why I was willing to take this trade, as well as the other things that we talk about, right? We can mark out our daily opening price, which is always important, and on the 4 hour, not really much. A little bit of a larger retracement that I would have liked, but again, that's why ES looks like this, and NASDAQ looks like this. So the 4 hour wasn't really giving me much, and so I went to the 1 hour to see what was going on. So there was two scenarios in my head going into this trade. I was looking at this as a potential bearish change in the state of delivery for a run lower into this low. And this is not something that typically you want to see when you're waiting for a continuation, right? We don't want to see this sort of lethargic price run. We don't want to see that V-shaped snap. Potentially this move here isn't the best idea or best thing to look for when I'm looking for price to continue trending lower. And so once I saw price failing to break out underneath this low, because this was the last low on the hourly time frame at the time before these and these failure swings down here, that price could reverse from. And this is what I mean by V-shaped reversal, right? We take out the hourly low and we start to pump back inside the range. And if we look at the 30-minute, this is where my focus was. This is where we actually got that change in the state of delivery, and the stronger asset ES was doing the same thing. Not as strong as a V-shape, but it was still there. And so going into the day, I understood that we had 8:15 news and 10 a.m. news. And I woke up at 8:20 this morning, and I was looking for a key level to see where price was trading off of. And the same goes for here, right? I always tell you guys breakout or reverse. If we're going to potentially fail to break out to this high, it's going to be here. And what do you notice? Price takes out the high, uses the hourly fair value gap, and then we have these potential down close candles. And I was using the 30-minute here because you guys can see how much of a thicker body they are. And so I was waiting to see if we were going to close above. We did there. And from there, I was expecting price to hold. I wanted to see this protected low. We had an hourly fair value gap tap. We have a nice V shape again. This is what you want to be seeing. You want to see a fast, snappy continuation when your key level gets hit. This is where I enter my long position. Excuse me. The entry today was based off of pairing the 30-minute fair value gap with a stop run below this low, and I had a little bit of a lower fill because I was using the high of this up close candle here. I was using that as a bullish breaker, even though it's not a large candle body. That's okay. The real idea was just a 30-minute fair value gap with this 15-minute low up there. And so that is exactly where I got filled. I got filled at this high of this candle at 8:44. And my stop loss looked like this. And the reasoning behind my stop loss was right here. The reasoning behind my stop loss was it was below the 50% of the order block, and I was trading at the market open, so I don't need to jam my stop loss, right? When I have already great risk to reward, the first TP was 25.11, and the second TP was 25,100. So I'm trading around the open. I do not need to jam my stop loss. I'm going to let it breathe, and I'm going to allow my trade to have good risk to reward. You can see the first TP is already just above, or just under 2R, which is perfectly fine. And when I understood that price was most likely going to hit this high up here, which was almost a 3R trade. 2.5R on the day is what I collected since I partialed, and this is exactly why I allowed my trade to breathe, right? I didn't need to do this. I don't need a 5R trade, right? I don't need a 3.5R trade. Is it nice? Sure. Would I rather not choke my stop loss and have still a great risk to reward and without the potential of getting stopped? Yes. So that is the exact reason behind me not jamming my stop loss, especially around market open, because I got filled at 9:30. And this is exactly the feedback that I wanted to see. How did I know I was on side after I got filled, even though we had this nasty rejection at the open right here? This is the nasty rejection candle. Why was I confident to hold my trade? Well, one, nothing really got invalidated. All my draw liquidities were still open. ES, even though ES, YM, and RTY were very weak, they ended up catching up. But why was I comfortable holding my trade? Well, I did pick the stronger asset this morning, and that was based off of the hourly closure as well as the 30-minute closure, right? You could see how many times ES barely even failed, or barely got above here. And if we look at NASDAQ, price is easily getting above this order block here. So these are all things that I'm monitoring. We also had a higher or a stronger close above this high. So those are the things that I'm looking for when I'm longing a specific asset. And also, as soon as we had this second 30-minute candle closure here, that's how I knew I was on side. And why was this also important? Well, this was the new 4-hour candle opening at 10 a.m. And so when I see that, and I see this open low on 10 a.m., I'm not fearful that it's coming down to stop me out and trade lower. All I'm looking at this as is a retracement into this next opposing candle. And we know opposing candles in an expansion phase of price should deliver higher. And what do you know? We have the next straight 30-minute candle going exactly towards TP everywhere we need. And if you look at the 4-hour, what do you notice? Very small wick on the 4-hour candle into our draws and liquidity above, which was right here. That's all for the trade. We did use a 30-minute today. There is no need to go to a lower time frame today. 15 and the 30-minute today was where I entered. If you guys have any questions, as always, feel free to let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next one.